This morning on The Dish, as you may be preparing for your socially distanced Labor Day barbecue, we're taking you to a place few people ever get to see, inside a president's kitchen. Chef Matthew Wendel went from his small town in Texas to cooking for world leaders as an aide to President George W. Bush. His story and his recipes are now available in his new cookbook, Recipes from the President's Ranch. Kris Van Cleave met up with him at Wendel's outdoor kitchen.
Are you sure I can handle this?
Anyone can make burgers this way.
We'll see about that. While the burger is a Labor Day staple, it's one I've never made from scratch.
When I walked in here, the first thing I did was look around and look for the microwave. I noticed we're not using the microwave.
I don't even own a microwave.
You don't own a microwave?
No. Old-fashioned.
So a cook I am not. Fortunately, Mr. Old-Fashioned here, Matthew Wendel, very much is. He never set out to be a chef, but has been working in the kitchen since he was a kid, a love of food born from helping his mother, Velva, cook for his 8 siblings.
As soon as we were old enough to sit on the counter and stir something, she thought that if you could cook, you would never go hungry and you could always find a job.
It would be years and a couple of career changes later while working as a caterer in Austin when he befriended then Texas Governor George W. Bush and his wife, Laura.
Thank you all so very much.
About a year before Bush announced he was running for president, he asked Wendel, who he calls Matty, if he'd come with him to Washington.
Were there points when you were there that you were like, how did I end up here?
I always told Mrs. Bush, it's surreal. I mean, I'm just a cook, learned in my mother's kitchen, and you're having me cook for all these very important people. And she said, that's the way we want it. Like the book says, food people like to eat.
In Matty's new cookbook, Recipes from the President's Ranch, Food People Like to Eat, this soft-spoken, small-town Texan takes us on his unlikely but very tasty journey from washing dishes in the back of Phillips in Danbury, Texas, to the Oval Office, and the kitchens at Camp David and President Bush's Crawford, Texas Ranch, revealing these pictures few have seen before.
What was President Bush's favorite meal?
I would say dessert.
Crawford was the Bush family's retreat from Washington. When they were at the ranch, Wendel was in the kitchen, making meals like the one he made for us, from recipes he's now sharing with everyone at the urging of the former First Lady.
Today we're having the smoky cheeseburgers, pasta salad, fried chicken, of course, some salsa and chips that made the salsa, a Laura Bush's peach cream pie, and my chocolate chip cookies.
And the chocolate chip cookies, these were a staple.
A staple.
At the President's Ranch.
Every time we went to the ranch or Camp David, we had to have cookies.
The ranch became a key part of presidential diplomacy, hosting world leaders like Russian President Vladimir Putin, British Prime Minister Tony Blair, and Mexican President Vicente Fox. Often, it was Wendel's food that brought them together.
You're making some of these meals for a world leader. Do you feel some extra pressure there?
Not any more pressure than I would if I were having friends over, actually.
Really?
Surprisingly. Because you are just so busy cooking the food, you don't have time to think about the power of the guests.
This stunning photo captures German Chancellor Angela Merkel grilling him about barbecuing the beef tenderloin.
I just learned through the years just enjoy the moment and not be intimidated by anyone, because she showed such an interest in wanting to know my techniques so she could maybe duplicate them.
Among the 54 recipes from the President's Ranch, the sweet and smoky cheeseburger became a staple of what was dubbed President Bush's cheeseburger diplomacy.
My food brought people together, countries together. Even though you have different views, you're sharing the same food under the same table. And so there's something equalizing about that.
Nothing else, you can talk about the food.
Right. Everybody loves food. Everyone has to eat.
President Bush wasn't the first president to use uniquely American meals to forge a bond with world leaders. Franklin Roosevelt served the King and Queen of England hot dogs at his New York home in 1939. And President Barack Obama wasn't afraid to adopt Bush's cheeseburger diplomacy with Russia's Dmitry Medvedev. But he didn't have Wendel, so they ate out. The recipes, like his mother's hot rolls or Sunday night stacked cheese enchiladas, are straightforward and approachable, even if you don't really spend much time in the kitchen, which brings us back to making those burgers. The trick is mixing in the barbecue sauce before shaping the patties, resulting in a smoky taste and less mess when you're eating.
Don't be nervous.
Says the guy who wrote a cookbook.
Laura Bush liked a thin patty and sharp cheddar cheese.
Thin like that.
So that, like that?
A little thinner.
Throw the burgers on the grill for a few minutes at medium heat, add the cheese,
This smells so good. I need to do more food stories.
and it's about time to eat, if I can just get them off the grill.
Can you tell I spend a lot of time in the kitchen?
Well, there are other jobs to do.
With the burgers finally on the plate, it was time to eat.
Try the pasta salad, too.
And eat we did.
This is fantastic.
My mother said always put a little love into whatever you make, so that's what I try to do.
Oh, love him.
Kris
Van Cleave, welcome to the dish.
Yeah, and
Welcome
that's
to
his
the dish.
last. Don't be thinking like you're going to take all our great dish
Well, that's because he didn't
opportunities.
send any
was
food.
good. Come
for
on.
Yeah,
us.
I mean-
it was great. It was
no,
great.
it was fantastic. We love our.
It is food.
KBT.
Cheeseburger diplomacy. Good stuff.
Learned a lot.